we're underway at Maine Road, with both teams coming from recent games when they haven't done themselves justice. And it was an expensive lapse by Manchester United. Phelan pushing on.
Might take Manchester City a little bit of time to get used to this formation.
They're just doing a bit of passing over, as you said that, Andy, because Alan Kernahan, Keith Curl just swapped roles. Curl, for a moment, had been marking Cantona and then dropped into mark the space, and Kernahan went across to keep the Frenchman under his gaze. Bruce. Now Parker. It's a great run by Keane. His trademark really. Hughes is in the middle. And misses it. And so too does Sharp. And City breathe a sigh of relief.
Gary Flitcroft breathes a sigh of relief, Mark. He's responsible for... He's trying to play offside. He's a midfield player. But if ever you want to dissect two players, it's exactly what happens. It's half a yard behind Hughes and half a yard in front of Sharp.
Well, it's dropped for Richard Edgehill to in the centre for City. Sheeran and Phelan. And it is a corner, although Manchester United aren't very happy about that in the shape of Schmeichel.
I don't understand what his problem is. Peter Schmeichel, I'm not sure what he's complaining about there. Whether he's thinking he's offside, there's certainly no signs of it there. Edgehill doing exactly what his manager wants and pushing forward as far as he wants to do.
And certainly a corner, which Sheeran will take. Defended by Sharp.
Sticking a lot of bodies in front of Schmeichel. They know that this goalkeeper's quite comfortable coming for crosses.
He comes and then goes back. United have coped. McMahon. Curl was down for a moment, a bit of wrestling going on the edge of the area. And now the referee has a good look at more contact between Keane and Schmeichel. And in terms of being a Mr. Angry, he's a good successor to Les Seeley, Peter Schmeichel.
Oh, and he's a big lad as well. Hey, one up for Roy Keane there, he's knocked the big man down.
Roy Keane, the former amateur boxer. Look after himself. Schmeichel's kick. And City just couldn't get to the ball quick enough. Ince was the main reason for that. And then Flitcroft catches it. And Peter Schmeichel is back at base.
Just about. But he's normally dealt with things like that, Peter Schmeichel, very well all season. But that, one of the players, but look at this. If anyone's wondering about commitment in local derbies, look at these two. Flying into each other.
Flying now is Lee Sharp. Kanchelskis. Keane behind him, hit it very well indeed. From a tight angle, pumped it into the chest of Tony Coton.
Oh, that was a wonderful strike. Arrives at him in the half volley, just as he would have wanted it. And he doesn't disappoint, he really doesn't. It's a tight angle. It's always going to be difficult to score, but he does what he should do. And that sets the target. Look at the pace it is. Coton can't hold on to it.
Sheeran. Space for City here, but not for long. Thanks for United to Lee Sharp. Owen's ball, and Keane has caught them out again. And Coton protected the goal. And the warning signs are out. Roy Keane has staked his claim here.
Well, if you're playing a sweeper, Martin, you've got to be prepared for this, and he's got to be there. At first I thought Tony Coton made the wrong decision and went back towards his goal. The goalkeeper proves he was right. Makes a fine save.
Now, the scurrying figure of Terry Phelan. David White applauding the service. It was Dennis Irwin who found himself having to watch White, obviously not as tall, and not close enough to stop the header.
I just wonder, could he have taken on his chest, Martin? I may be doing him a disservice here as it comes in. It is a little bit high, and heading, certainly from 18 yards, not one of David White's strong points. I think he showed that quite clearly there.
It's good work again from Keane, who's revelling in his first taste of an occasion like this. Sheeran, White to the right, Quinn to his left. Phelan making up some ground. Sheeran still on the ball, and Quinn comes in and plants another header past Peter Schmeichel and scores for the third derby in a row. And Manchester City have drawn first blood here at Maine Road.
It's a fabulous break from penalty box to penalty box. And just when I was wondering, does he know what he's going to do with the cross? Because Quinn had pulled wonderfully onto Parker. Couldn't have asked for a better scenario there. Look at that, he pulls onto the smallest Manchester United player. The cross is inch perfect, and Niall Quinn doesn't often miss those.
Well, Peter Schmeichel must be sick at the sight of Niall Quinn, because not only is he scoring past him at will, it seems, in these Manchester derbies, he also scored for the Republic of Ireland against Denmark last season as well. There's no offside. I'd like to have had David White perhaps in that position, but Quinn keeping it going. Into play with Sheeran. It's McMahon trying to steer it. It wasn't just power, there was a priority of placement there. Looking wide to Schmeichel's left. Not quite wide enough.
Oh, great pick from Quinn though. When everyone's expecting it to be in the box, no way. Looks for accuracy as it's pulled back, looking for accuracy all the time, McMahon. And it comes through a crowd of players, and that's what made the save difficult.
Keen and sharp, that's what Manchester United have got to be, really. Well, Edgehill played the ball.
We saw Richard Edgehill's debut on Sky Sports against Wimbledon.
Here's White, set away superbly by Quinn. There's no real support at the moment. And he's a bit lucky, David White, that might stay in for Terry Phelan. That certainly wasn't what was designed. McMahon. In goes Quinn again! It's two! Well, the fortune came earlier in the move. But in the end, it was a fine finish.
And they've got so much to thank Terry Phelan for. They really have, Martin. But it can't be City's day to get away with a horrendous error from David White to such an extent that they profit with another fine header from Niall Quinn. We said it earlier in the day, provide this lad with service from the right areas and he will trouble any centre-half in the country with his ability. He's had two crosses to go and thrive on, and he hasn't disappointed with either. Two fine headers, but not great defending from Manchester United, it has to be said. They got caught, whether they come out, whether they drop back in and defend the header, and got it wrong. McMahon, he knows where to put balls, into danger areas. They don't know whether to come out or drop off, but Quinn knows where he's going. Look at that, he's up early. Pallister can do nothing about it, and that ball nestles beautifully in the corner.
Here's Parker. Kamchelskis. Made a good angle for his cross. Well, one player on the pitch who you feel might accomplish a goal from that almost impossible angle was the one who attempted the effort.
Well, certainly if there's a player here capable of executing this properly, probably Mark Hughes would take exception to that.
Yeah. I put my apology in there.
But Cantona, we wouldn't have been surprised at all had that been on target.
Oh, Alex Ferguson will have some quick-fire talking to do. Quinn.
That's when we talk about Quinn's get more than just aerial ability, Mark. Aware enough to take that in his chest, turn and hit it in an instant. Only a good block stops him getting in with a hat-trick at the end of the first half.
was a combination of Kernahan and Bonk, but it's been Niall Quinn's half. Certainly high and mighty on 2 occasions to put headers past Peter Schmeichel and keep his special run going in derby game.
Certainly the supporters of Norwich, Aston Villa, Leeds, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, they'll be as pleased as the City fans about this result at the moment.
So far, a tactical triumph for Brian Horton. Keane, now to get a bit nearer to the danger area and to force a corner. Just wonder whether Brian Horton might feel that his team are just easing off a little. Perhaps Alan Kernahan's gesture there suggests that he feels it. Sharp to take the corner. 2-0 is terrific. If it's suddenly 2-1, then we really do have a game and United could see an escape route. Cantona. Well, it's turning into be a game of headers at goal, but the ones from Manchester City are going into the goal. Pallister's over the top of Coton's crossbar.
It's a lovely ball in from Cantona. Frenchman picked the area, played it in there, head on it, go and head me for a goal. Super cross, but Pallister couldn't keep it down.
Oh, it's a mistake by Bonk. It's Cantona closing in. Manchester United are back in it. A suicidal moment for City. 2-1.
Well, it's decisions and mistakes like that that just totally change things. Not a problem for the majority of this game, and Michel Bonk presents that type of chance to a man of Cantona's ability. I don't think anyone in the ground thought this was going anywhere else other than in the back of the net. And suddenly now, one more error, and they could end up losing a game they haven't looked like doing anything but winning from about the 20th minute.
Cantona, who has mixed memories of Maine Road. He scored here for United last season. Twice a loser for Leeds by 4 goals to 0 in this stadium. Robbie Hart has to step in again. Mitchell and Ince. He's keeping control without excessive use of the card, the referee. I hope that turns out to be a good policy for him. Kernahan. Here comes for Keane. And Pallister has put it wide. And City, suddenly, did we see the signs in the conceding of that earlier corner when they just backed off perhaps a little too deep?
Well, Gary Pallister's had 2 excellent chances. Maybe not by centre-half standards. He will certainly be more disappointed with that finish. That was a chance for him, especially when Niall Quinn's got 2. And people will tag it that he was the marker and maybe the man responsible. He had a great chance there to put his own name on the score sheet.
Bruce. Cantona. The spare man is Irwin. And now it's Sharp. It's attacking it again. And this time he didn't lack company because Mark Hughes was moving in. Any sort of touch and it would have flown inside the post and beyond it.
Paul Ince just had a little go at Eric Cantona saying, what are you doing 20 yards outside the penalty area when we're flashing crosses across the goal like this? I mean, that's what? It's about a foot away from the far post.
Here's Sheeran. Phelan. Parker watching him. Sheeran keeping the ball. Oh, that was lucky for Manchester City. And they've had a bit of luck from time to time. Sheeran, who tried to spray the pass wide, and Flitcroft did very well to use that as chest control. It thudded into his body.
Well, if this had gone in, I would have been down betting on City for the league, even though they are 16th at the moment. Because that would have been just too much for anyone to handle.
Flitcroft. That's the type of ball that David White loves. Didn't quite run for him. Quinn with the shot. He got his hat-trick from that position. Manchester United might have given up the ghost.
I mean, he's worth trying. Your 2 goals you've scored yourself. It drops at you 25 yards out. Certainly don't blame Niall Quinn for trying.
Kanchelskis, put away by Keane. Is he in for the equaliser here? Tony Coton gives a very positive answer for Manchester City. The answer is no.
Well, that's the save of the match, without a doubt. My first reaction was Kanchelskis is offside. I really thought that, but once he's away, it's all about him against the goalkeeper. He looks to slide it in, and that's a wonderful save from Tony Coton. He had to be at his best in this situation. He stays up as long as he can, doesn't commit himself too early. That's the crucial part of it, and he's able to make an excellent save.
Quinn. Mann. Now Quinn. Edgehill to the right. White wants it slipped through, just like that. And Schmeichel has emulated Coton's heroics.
Well, maybe that was saving the match. Both goalkeepers showing us in the space of a minute the real quality. White can tie the game up here for City. Kanchelskis opted for accuracy. White was opting for power.
A rather hapless Andrei Kanchelskis is the player who doesn't finish the match. It's been a story for him so often in his time at Old Trafford. Slid forward by Pallister. Hughes. Now Keane.
He's getting plenty of the ball, Eric Cantona, Mark, where he's dropped deeper and deeper as the second half has gone on to get involved. I mean, I think it's great to see him with possession in areas like this, and he can pass it about. But look, if you're a Manchester United fan, I think you'd far rather see him up against their back 4 and doing his tricks and working his little space.
Well, I suppose he will feel that there are others who are going into those areas. Whether they're the right players, of course, remains to be seen. Cantona again. It's almost as if he's got a baton in his hand and he's conducting the orchestra. Giggs, oh, that's a super ball, and Cantona is there where it matters. 2 for him, 2 for United, 2-2 is the score.
Well, there you go. If you stay in midfield, you can't get goals like that. Wanders into the penalty area, and that's a better sight if you're a Manchester United fan. Eric Cantona in there where it hurts. But watch Giggs here. All he does, he knows where the danger area is. He helps it in there, and there's that gap between goalkeeper and defence again. It's ever so difficult to defend. And Cantona, well, you don't expect him to miss them, do you?
Anything now Quinn can do, Cantona says I can do as well, and Ryan Giggs arrives in style with a super setup for him.
This really has been a Jekyll and Hyde performance from him. So composed and so confident the first half, and so very edgy. Whether they lack belief that they could actually win the game, or whether we've not given United enough credit for their really spirited and quality comeback.
Well, that's sharp, delightfully delivered for Owen. It's Hughes, and coming in behind him was Roy Keane. Is the comeback complete? United believe it is. Their supporters absolutely thrilled by a sensational second half showing.
Well, I said if this little young right back doesn't get some protection, they're going to get exposed. Again, it's Irwin and Sharp that combine. Hughes takes all the bullets, takes the players away, and Keane comes on. Roy Keane special, late into the box, meets it absolutely perfectly, and he slides it into the far corner. What a comeback. That, I'm sure, the final answer as to whether Wednesday night was going to hurt Manchester United more than ever.
He would have had his own words of hostility to his players at half-time after a shabby first half showing. But Manchester United have provided an answer that they can enjoy for a long, long time here on their own patch. A quite amazing victory. Roy Keane provided it. After Peter Schmeichel had been beaten twice in the first half by Niall Quinn headers. Then 2 goals from Eric Cantona. You can look at a turning point, the error by Michel Vonk. Humbled in Europe, but still the masters in their own area and in their own league. In the end, it's a derby day to savour for Manchester United. Suffering for Manchester City, and how at Maine Road. And what a baptism for Brian Horton in this kind of rivalry. The league table offers no consolation either. Michel Vonk goes off aware of his part in the second half slump for City. City stuck in the bottom 7. United's lead restored to 11 points. And the trauma of Turkey thrust aside. Manchester City 2, Manchester United 3. The scorer of the winning goal, Roy Keane.
Roy, many congratulations. A terrific second half fight back. What exactly was said at half time?
I think basically we were on top in the first half, but we gave away 2 silly goals. Manager said keep plugging away, and yeah, there's a chance that we'd always get back into it. We just kept playing away, and luckily enough, no, we've done the business.
Your first Manchester derby, how much did you enjoy the atmosphere?
That was absolutely fantastic. I was a bit disappointed. I had a good chance in the first half, and I just hit it straight to keep it when I should have scored, and the manager had a word with me at half time. So I was just delighted with the 3 points after the disappointment in midweek.
Well, I was going to say, a very important win from the psychological point of view to get over the disappointments of the European Cup.
Yeah, well, you know, we lost Wednesday with a bad performance, and everybody was saying that could be our downfall. But, you know, the manager said take no notice of the press and just keep playing the way we were. Lucky enough we got the 3 points today.